Hello, wealthy family, and thank you for coming and sharing some time with me today. So, this video may sound like a bit of a repeat to some people because I did the video, I uploaded it, and then I rewatched it and I saw that it was really buffery. Like every other word, it was horrible. I don't know what was going on. So, I'm going to redo it and upload it again. So, the topic that I wanted to talk about today is systematic oppression, systematic depression, just systematic things in general. When you think of a system, you think of something that's put in place to have things run smoothly. A very wise person once told me that system stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. So if you want to have things to go smoothly, if you want to have things run efficiently, if you want to have things set something in place and have it run efficiently without you having to always be there, you can implement a system. Like for my household, the system is I go to the grocery store. When I come home, I blow my horn. Children come outside, get the groceries, put them away, put away the reusable bags, and we go that route, Or when it's time to take showers, we have a system in place. That way I know when I do a certain action or I say a certain thing, I know that they are in turn going to follow up because the system we've had in place dictates them to do so. It's implemented in their mind. They know how to go. When I start getting really annoyed with them and I start counting from 3, they already know you have until 2 to get done what it is that I'm telling you to do. They know that system because they know what's going to happen after a certain action. It saves me time, energy, and money because now I don't have to keep telling them over and over and over what to do because it's already been put in place. So when you talk about systematic oppression, right? That means that there has been a system put in place to keep people oppressed. That means there has been a convening of the minds, a conjoining of the minds. Certain group of people sat together and made a plan and then implemented a system to have things go their way. So, most people think of systematic oppression or systematic racism only being implemented towards people like myself and who look like me, melanated people. And that is true. For the most part, we do receive the brunt of it. However, there is something more deeper going on at play here. And it's hard for some people to grasp it. It was hard for me to grasp it at first. It was difficult for me to digest it and understand the system that I have been a part of for so long that I thought was in my favor, was doing things to help me out. The system that I had put my trust and my hopes in was actually set up against me. Not just physically because of who I am and what I look like. Not just financially because of who I am and what I look like, but also mentally, spiritually. It's been set up against me. A group of people had a desire to create a system that was going to keep a larger group of people stagnant or without joy. They designed a system. The group of people who designed the system that so many of us live in and participate in and interact with every day, that system was created to oppress you. Now, some people are able to break past the barrier of financial oppression. Some people are able to break past the barrier of the physical oppression. But a lot of us have not been able to break past the mental and the spiritual barrier of oppression. And that's because we don't even know, we don't even realize that it's happening. See, the first step to recovery in anything is admitting or realizing and accepting the fact that there is a problem. So many people don't see a problem with the system because they've been in the system for so long. It feels normal. It feels like it's their thoughts and it's their actions, and everything that they're doing is by their own free will. When in reality, in retrospect, in the hindsight, which is always 2020, people are starting to realize that, oh snap, it has not been all me. I don't really enjoy doing this, and I never questioned why I continued to do it. I just kept on doing it because it was a normal thing to do. It felt normal. It felt comfortable. It felt relatable. But it's not your own. It's not your real system. So how do you override a system? First of all, you have to understand how your mind works. How do you override that mental oppression? You have to understand how your mental facilities work. How does your brain and your mind work? Similar to computers and desktops and laptops and electronic devices, they all have operating systems. Your mind is your body's operating system. Your body is the laptop, the computer, and your mind is the operating system that is programmed with. It's the Windows 10. It's the Safari. Your mind is the operating system. Okay? So if your mind is programmed with an operating system that no longer serves you, now you have to start taking steps to finding things and putting forth actions that is going to serve you to overwrite that operating system. Now your thoughts are your programs. So if you have programs or thoughts that no longer are helping you elevate and be a good person, you now need to overwrite those thoughts with something that is going to serve you. So you need to unplug from the operating system that you've been in before. Unplug from those toxic people. Unplug from the toxic TV shows. Unplug from the toxic news. Unplug from the toxic things you read, the toxic music you ingest, and start overriding it with things that are vibrant. Start hanging around vibrant people who are of like minds. If you enjoy painting, start hanging out with people who enjoy to paint. And stop hanging out with people who tell you that it's stupid to do that. If you enjoy playing with art, with clay, go hang out with people who enjoy molding clay. And stop hanging out with people who tell you that it's ridiculous and childish. Stop reading things that's going to cause you to fear. Stop reading about these celebrities who do not love themselves. Listen, I was in the store with my grandfather and I saw a magazine cover of some chick and it said, "I finally love myself." And I was like, well, who is this person? They have to be relevant to be on the cover of this magazine. It was a published magazine. And for it to say, "I finally love myself," which means she's been in the spotlight for a minute. And then I saw it was Khloe Kardashian. She looks nothing like how she used to look at all. How can you finally love yourself and you don't even look like who you look like? Who you were meant to be. You don't even look like a natural person. You look so plastic. She looks so plastic. I took a picture of it. I sent it to my family. I'm like, who is this? And then they're like, it's right there on the magazine cover, Mom. That's how I realized. I was like, oh my goodness. So stop reading these things about people who don't even love and know themselves. And every time you have a thought that comes in that does not serve you, that says your hair has to be a certain way, your body needs to be a certain way, the way you speak needs to be a certain way in order to be successful, in order to be beautiful, in order to be acknowledged. And start telling yourself, no, I am the most perfect version of me. Until you grow into that most perfect version of you naturally. Understand everything in life is a process. So that operating system, those thoughts, the codes that you have, if they're not propelling you and pushing you to be a greater version of you, start letting those thoughts go. Start letting them go. It's time to let them go. It's time to let go of the old way of how we view things. The old way wasn't working, so it's on us to do what we got to do to survive. Shout out to Pop. It's time for us to start looking within and stop looking outside for validation. These celebrities are not who we think they are. These politicians do not have the greater good for us. The royal family does not care about us. So it's time for us to start expanding and start overriding the system that they've been putting in play for us. The foods that they give us that's healthy is not what it is. It's time for us to start gardening. I wish you all could see my beautiful garden. It's time for us to get back to nature, to get back to natural things, real things. Be your real, authentic self, experiencing real, authentic thoughts. That is how you overcome systematic oppression. Get off their system and start overriding the system that you have. Start programming your own system and programming the way you want your life to go. You did not come here to live in poverty, to live in struggle, to live in quarantine, and to be masked up. That is not what you came here to do. Being free is your birthright. Being abundant is your birthright. You are not born in sin and imperfection. That's part of their system. So overwrite those thoughts every day. Start that process and then see how beautiful life is. So that is all I have for you today, wealthy family. Until next time, stay alert, stay aware, and most importantly, live in love.